The reason why a lot of you don't hear from God is because you don't know how God is speaking to you. Okay? When you limit God, you're limiting yourself. Okay, don't limit God, because God can speak to you in many different ways. God can speak to you through nature, through the wind, through the water, through the trees, through visions, through dreams, through night visions. You know, God can speak to you in many different ways, through animals. Whatever way he wants to speak to you, God can speak to you. Okay, so when God is speaking to you, he can speak even colors and frequencies. God can speak to you so many different ways. Numbers, letters, he can speak to you many different ways. Okay, repeated cycles, God can speak to you through. All these are ways that you need to pay attention to see if God is speaking to you. Okay, now the enemy of course will try to confuse that, but that's the whole point of this video, is to teach you that if you're looking for God to speak to you only one way, it's not gonna work. Okay, if you're looking for God to speak to you, you know, just audibly or whatever way that you're looking for God to speak to you, or through a prophet or somebody, it usually the enemy is going to block that and confuse that. But if you think about it, if you rob the bank and you had 10 different getaway cars and the enemy doesn't see what car you're in, how does he know how to catch you? He doesn't. That's why God uses these different ways of talking to you. It's all about the secrecy. Just like, you know, they try to use secrecy and Freemasonry and everything that Satan has going on. It's all about the secrecy. You know what I'm saying? So learn how God speaks to you. Once you learn how God speaks to you, then he can't block all the paths. And another thing is, don't tell people how God speaks to you. That's none of their business. Don't. Sometimes in deliverances, demons come. Demons. Oh, how do you know that? How do you know this? That's none of your business. The way God speaks to you, let that be between you and God. Okay? Because what they're trying to do is learn how God speaks to you so that they can block you from hearing from God. The ultimate goal of the enemy is they don't want you hearing from God. So learn how God speaks to you. Once you learn how God speaks to you, then it will become impossible for the enemy to block all your pathways to God. Because remember, God is speaking to you, but you just don't know how. So find out how the Lord is speaking to you, and you will always understand what's going on and get instructions from the Lord on what to do next.